Alright, let's get this show on the road. Back from lunch, so let's get rid of some more grass. Let's go to subtract, and then let's go to grass, and then let's get rid of some more grass so we have room to work. So what I'm going to do is, I need the square brush anyway, so let me just change it to square. So let's just get rid of a bunch of grass so we have room for these next couple of mines. Alright. And so yeah, we'll worry about this side later. I want to get the other side done. So let's go back to replace. Let's go back to 150. And then let's go down. Let's get our next mine cut in. And we'll take away the extra space when what we don't need later. So let's take you back. Let's get ready for this next mine. Again, for lack of a better term, right now it's just going to be the rock mine. Oh. We didn't leave enough. I forgot about my second layer. Let's go back and do that again. Let's go back to 200. See, I knew I should have had a liquid lunch. I forgot to leave a shelf around here. And I'm just going to go here for now, and then we'll see how much space we need once I import it in. And then let's just go to 180. And let's get... Let me try and get even with this one. So somewhere about here. Something like that. And then now we'll cut in. Go a little bit smaller. Let's try and get ourselves set up for this next mine. Sassy one, hello again. Alright, now I don't know how much room I have, but let's cut in a little bit on this side, and then we can always fit it to the mine. This will get us started. Something like that. Now if we run out of, I don't think we'll run out of room, but we could flip it around and go this way also if I wanted to. So we'll see. We'll see where we go and how much room we need. Alright, so what was our next one? So the ore mine is in. Let me delete that one. Rock mine is next. Alright, so create a transform group. Come on, all the way down. So let's go edit, cut, global company. And it's going to be rock mine. And then let's go file, import, rock mine. And let us, so you got to go this way. Yeah, we're going to have to move this one around a little bit. So let's get you back. Actually, if I take this back a little bit further, so let's go to 150. So let's take this in a little bit deeper. And pull it in. We won't have to move too much stuff around. And then I could just put other props and stuff in to fill the gaps later. That works. Now let's take, and again, this is just rough on this side. We'll come back and fix that side later. But let's take, and we're going to have our road somewhere in there going into the next mine. Something like that. Let me go. We want to take this in just a little bit further. Yeah, let's cut back just a little bit more. That's going to put it right about where I want it. Perfect. Something like, yeah, something like that. All right, now this is the rock mine, so I'm just going to use the mountain texture. So for now, let's get rid of the grass where our road's going to be. And then this is going to be just our rock texture, our boulder color. What else do I have in here? Gravel. I don't want the gravel. Cliff rock is, we're probably going to end up using cliff rock. I don't think I have other gravel. Cobblestone. What does cobblestone look like? Oh, definitely not. Alright, what else do we have in here? That's it. So we're going to have to use, I don't want stone. I don't think I want stone. No, we don't want stone. We want, let's just go with cliff rock. Let's use the lighter cliff rock instead of the darker cliff rock. Alright, so now let's clean up the ore a little bit first, and then we'll come back and put the cliff rock in. Let's go back to ore. Let's get this in here a little bit better. Alright, now we can switch over to cliff rock. And then Cliff rock. I got to click off of this mine so it's not in my face green. Right, now we can clean this edge up. Cliff rock. And pretty much straight across. Give us a little bit of extra light. Alright, now let's get our next farmland painted in. So we want, let me grab, oh come on, yeah, I thought you were open. We want our farmlands XML. Next up is rock mine. And let's turn it on. So it's going to be farm ID 4. And we're going to have to check the prices because I'm not sure how our pricing is going to fall. So farmland 4 is bit 2. So farmlands number 4. So let's get this one painted in. Again, something like so. We'll clean it up later. We just want to get it in so we can get it working. And then let's take it out to where the road is going to be. Again, I'm going to paint it bigger than what I need and we'll fix it when we paint the next farmland in. It's easier to fix it then than try and go back and repaint what you missed. Alright, something like that. Spin my camera around, make sure I didn't miss anything. Alright, so there's our farmland in. Now let's get, so now we can come back down here to our rock mine, and then let's get all of our user attributes in. So first one up is a string. And then script callback. And then we have another string. You think I'd have these memorized by now. And then the last one is a float. And then this is going to be farmland 4. It is a rock mine. Now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to steal these other 2 commands. Now here, and then this one is going to go here. And then we're going to change it from ore mine to rock mine. Now I think that's everything for the factory. So let's save that. Let's go to, while that's saving, let's go to our 110. So yeah, so that's, now we need everything for our rock mine. So this command here, we need to move over to here. So there's our rock mine. So let's save that. And we already set up our rock mine XML, so that should be good. So just waiting for this to save. And then I'm just going to grab my notebook really quick. So we have coal is done, ore is done, this is rock. So coal is done, ore is done. We need nickel, we need copper. Salt we don't need because we're going to do the evaporator. We need sand. Why do I have a feeling I'm missing something? Sand, silt, and then there's a new fill type. I'm going to hold off on revealing that yet, but why do I have a feeling I am missing something? Let me go into, do I have 2 copies of Ritchie Valley open? I do. Let's go to my games. Let me go to the 16x map a minute. I have a feeling I'm missing something. Alright, heating plants, grass processing, all the warehouses. Alright, so we have coal, ore, copper, nickel, silt, the rock crusher. So I'm not going to about the crusher because we're going to do that separate. So we sand, sand, I think we're good. I think I got them all. Cement plant is placeable. Yeah, I think we're good. I think that's all of them. Let me just go in here. Placeables, global company. Coal we have. Copper is on the list. Grass. Manure, milk. Nickel's on the list. Oh, let me make a note. We have to put oil wells in. So you have to add oil wells. Orchards, ore we have in. Rock crusher we have in. Sand is on the list. Silt is on the list. Stone processing, that's going to be done differently. Okay, I don't think we're missing anything. Alright, so this is saved. Oh, hotspot. Let's get that in before I forget. Ore mine. Duplicate. So I always forget this. I think the global company menu is right there. Let me just jump up here a minute. in. Alright, so in a little bit more and get to the right. So in a little bit more. So right about there. We're going to call you rock mine. And then let's get our hot spot taken care of before we go in game. So you are rock. And you are rock. And then let's get our X. And our Z. Alright, save that. And I gotta, since I messed up the map when we added something to it, let's save this again. And now we can come in here and check this crusher. So we get rock done. We will move to, we'll go nickel, then copper. Those are not built, so we're going to have to build them from scratch. So they're going to take a little bit longer. These are the only three I had pre-built. Alright, so that is saved. I think all of our XML work is done. So let's jump back in here. And I want to pay attention to the prices this time to see if we need to adjust the costs of these mines. So let's jump in here, let this load. I am done with building factories for about a week. We're going to work on this. We're just going to do as much as we can in this map for the next week, because I'm like 4 to 6 factories ahead of what we have to release. So we can pound the crap out of this map for a little bit. Alright, so let's go 20, throw some money in here. Now we should have our hot spot. We do. So rock mine is here. We're not going to get a global company trigger because we didn't buy it. So let's see what our pricing is first. So the ore mine is 315,000. Yeah, I don't mind. Those are pretty good prices. 389,000. Let's buy that. So now we should get a trigger. And we do. So let's grab our store delivery so we don't have to drive over from the shop. Let's grab our truck and our tanker. And then let's throw some diesel in here. Now I'm going to go for a little ride first. I want to see how we look before we go too much further. I want to see what the views look like. Let me get rid of the map because it's senseless. Yeah, I want to bring that wall in. The wall to my right I want to bring in a little bit further. So to narrow up the space. But I want to see what we look like driving up and down the mountain. So we'll probably put one of these ramps over on the other side as well, once we get the rest of the mines in. And we'll have a road that comes over here and then curves out. Perfect. Yeah, I'm going to take this to the left and we're going to skinny it back a little bit more. but it's starting to look like a quarry when you're driving in here. And that's what the look I was going for. Alright, let's spawn some rocks out of this one and see what it looks like. Is it working? It is working. Let's wait for these to spawn. We'll check our triggers. Then we'll spend after we get them all in and functioning, we'll spend a couple hours working on props and textures and foliage and making it look good. Come on, we need the Jeopardy music. Or the really old Heinz ketchup commercial. Anticipation. Oh, there we go. You don't want to hear me sing anyway. Alright, we have... What do we have? 20,000 liters. So our rocks are 20,000. Our spawner is full. Perfect. So let's grab our mining truck. And let's pick those up and see if the spawner resets back to 0. Well, I got a hump over here. We're going to have to level out a little bit. Alright, so there's the first 5. Let's see if our spawner's cleared. And they did. Let's get another 5. And the other thing I have to do is I got to check. I want to go back in and check the lights and see how they look at night. So we may, after we test this one, I may forward till it gets dark just to take a peek at the lighting. So we're going to have to add some lighting in probably all the way across. Come on. There we go. Check our spawner. And our spawner is full. Let's yank them out of here. Make sure we reset back to 0. We reset back to 0. Perfect. Alright, let's go 2,000 speed till it gets dark. I want to see what this looks like at night. We'll definitely have to add some lighting, I believe. We can get them all in and then we can add lighting in it last for all of them. Let's go, there we go. Oh, that's not bad, actually. So we got room to mine at night. I mean, we got light to mine at night. Just a couple lights here and there. All right, I know what I want to do. We are golden. All right, let's get out of here. Let's check our log for errors and we can move on. And like I said, unfortunately, this next one's going to take us a little bit longer because I don't have anything pre-built. Let's go to the log first. And driving dust. All right, no errors with the factory. Hold on, what's missing? Oh, beacon lights. Fail to open Ritchie Valley XML beacon light 01. What am I missing? I know what I'm missing. Hold on. Let's get that error taken care of first. So I'm missing the beacon lights and the beacon light i3D. So let's go into the new map folder. So I want, what path do I want? Ritchie Valley and then XML. So Ritchie Valley, XML. And I'm going to come over here to the old file, to XML, and we're missing this. So I need beacon light 01. So let's go File, Export Selection with Files, Ritchie Valley, Ritchie Valley, XML. We want beacon light 01. And I need the beacon light 01 XML. So let's copy that over to here. And then I got to make sure, so it was telling me it was couldn't open the file because it was missing. Alright, so that should fix that error. The HUD is an easy fix. I'll fix that one later. Alright, so that should fix everything with that factory. Let me just make sure I have the beacon light XML in my mod description. And then we're good to go. So, where's my mod description? Right here. I am missing the XML beacon light, I'm almost positive. Yeah, we're going to be missing the XML beacon light. Let me go into the old file real quick first again. Let's go to mod description. Come down to where my XMLs are. Yeah, I'm going to grab this line and I want to put it in the new map. Where am I? Right here. So you've got to come under here. There we go. That'll fix the lighting for the mines. So that I can close. This one I can close. The rock ore mine. Ore mine's done. We can close that one. Rock mine is done. We can close that one. We're done with the ore rock palette. We are done with the... I'm going to leave the rock palette open because we have a couple more palettes to fix yet. Alright, so that takes care of that. That should clean up all of our errors. So now we are going to work on, so ore is done. So we're going to work on nickel. So our next mine is going to be nickel. And so let's go. How much more grass do I have? Oh, we got some more grass. Let me erase some more grass. So let's go back to subtract. Let's go back to here and let's just make sure we get rid of this grass. We can put it back later. we have a couple more mines to put in. Alright, next on the list. So let's go back to replace. We're at 150. Now I gotta bring you way down. And let's bring you back. So we're gonna come straight back from here. And again, I'm not concerned with the left side. We're going to fix that later after all the mines are in. We're going to make it smaller. So next one up, we are going to go, I need a little bit more room first. Hold on. So let's take this back a little bit further. For now. Alright, so let's come in here. Oh, I don't like that. I want to fix that first. Hold on, I want to square this up. 206. Let's square you back up. As close to as I can get. Alright. So now let's go back to 150. I gotta remember to leave some room to put another layer in. So let's start here. Let's come this way so I can judge how deep I am. So let's come back to about here. And that way will come this way. Alright, that's close. Square this up. Something like that. Let's go to 180. And we can get our next layer. Next layer is at 180. Not too concerned with the left side for now. We can, because we're going to have to fit it to the size of the mine. But let me just get something to get us started. And then 200 will get us our last layer. And again, I'll clean up the upper edge. The outer edges will get cleaned up later when I'm ready to do my final detail work. Let me get it roughed in for now. Why does that not look right? Oh, because we were all the way across. Alright. So you were all the way across. So take you all the way across. You'll come out this way. Yep, you were all the way out. Should have started with this upper level first because it's just easier. Alright, so there's our upper level back in. So now I can go back to 180. No, you stay on replace. I want 180. So now I can come down a little bit further. Alright, now we come in here. We can straighten this up. Give me a nice straight line. That'll work. So we can get our 180 level in. And then we could take our 150 level. And then we can straighten this, square this back up. We can get you even on the front side. There we go, something like that. For now, let's go back to rough dirt just to get some of the green out of my way. Alright, so that's that. Now this is going to be, what did I say we're working on? We are going to work on nickel. So let's grab our nickel. And let's get some of it roughed in so we can get our nickel mine at least over here. You look like nickel? You do. Alright, we'll clean up the rest of the edges in a minute. So let's grab let's create a transform group. And I'm going to grab it here. Let's go edit, cut, global company, paste. And since we're going to be using a lot of them, I'm just going to duplicate that a couple times. And they'll be there for us to duplicate. So this one is going to be nickel mine. Alright, so we are going to take, our ore mine. I am going to duplicate it. I'm going to go edit, cut, nickel mine, edit, paste, and then we are going to slide it down and get it where we want it, and then probably make this space even a little bit smaller. Yeah, because I want to go in a little bit. I want to go back a couple inches. So let's go to 180, and we'll take, let me click off of that a minute. Alright, so let's take this back a little bit further. Like so. And then let's go to 150. And we'll take this one back a little bit. Now, if I slide you back in, we got to rename you. I'll rename this in a second. So let's take you back. Perfect. And then where's my little house and triggers? That is about right where I want it. Let's take it over a little bit more though. Like so. Right? Yeah, so let's get you touching right about there. And I'm not even going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it just like it is. So now let's go. So ore gets changed to nickel. Or here gets changed to nickel. Our XML that's going to run the factory, we have to change from ore to nickel. Let's get the rest of our painting done. So let's go back to Cliff Rock, and then let's get this about halfway. And I'm not concerned with the floor, we'll get that later. Papa Smurf, Hail Memo 2, what in the blue blazes are you doing to my map? You better not be breaking it. I am breaking your map. We've got the coal mine is up and running, the ore mine is up and running, the rock mine is up and running, and right now we are working on the nickel mine. And once I go in game and show you, I'm going to skinny this up so it's a lot tighter and a lot smaller. So I've got some more terrain changes to make, but it is looking amazing when you go in game. So now let's go back to nickel. And then let's square up our nickel. And again, we'll fix the floor of the road later. But I just want to get this about halfway. Alright, something like that. And then let's take it all the way up. And again, we're not worried about the top layer. That's a project for another day. We'll decorate the entire mine. But just getting it in and getting it functioning for now is the goal. Alright, so you are nickel. Let me take it back just a little bit further and we can clean it up with the next color. So right about there for now. Now let's grab our farmlands XML. Let's get our farmlands taken care of next. So this one is going to be, look at that, it used to be the nickel crusher, and they're now going to make it the nickel mine. So let's take this one out. It's going to be farmland ID 5, and we want bits 0 and 2. So bits 0 and 2, which makes me farmland 5. Let me tilt my camera out a little bit more. Alright, so now we want this mine to be our next farmland. And again, I'm going to overpaint and we'll clean it up with the next one when we come back. It's just easier that way. And then let me spin around so we can get this all the way out here for now, and again we'll fix that side later. This just gets me in and operating. Now let me turn my camera one more time just to make sure I didn't miss any squares. Alright, so that should be our nickel mine painted. So it is now number 5. Let's save this. Let's grab, while that's saving, let's come back here to our 110. Now we have to change this one. So let's go copy and paste. So you are now, we change rock mine to nickel mine. We are going to produce nickel. This one is now nickel. So it's a nickel mine. It produces nickel. Papa Smurf finally got 82 Studios tanker trailer scripting done today to accept all manure system hoses. Nice. Raw materials, input is diesel, output is nickel, and our output is nickel. Alright, so there's our 110 done. Now we have to take our, alright, Ritchie Valley, objects, pallets, global company, nickel rock. We got to fix our palette. Nickel rock palette. Alright, so we have to go here and change that to 20,000 and change that to 20,000. So that is our palette fixed. I can close our rock palette. We're done with that one. And now we have to go Ritchie Valley, placeables, global company, rock mine, copy, paste, rename nickel mine. Now, all of rock mine gets changed to nickel mine. And then we have to go from top to bottom and change all of these manually because there's some of them have to be capital and some of them have to be lowercase because they are case sensitive. So these I do manually. So you are nickel, and then our palette is nickel. And by going through it line by line, I don't miss any. I know it takes a little bit longer, but so you're nickel, and then our palette is nickel. And then our third one is nickel, palette is nickel. And then we come over here. Change that. Change that. And that one in. So nickel, nickel, pallet becomes nickel. Chef is in the house. Hello, thank you for stopping back in. We change rock to nickel. And nickel, so save that. And then I come back up to the top and I go control find rock. And what did we miss? We missed this whole section. Alright, so you get changed to nickel, lowercase. You have to get what else did I miss? Is that the only one? No, you get changed. You get changed. You get changed. And this one. And now we save that again. We search again for rock. And we don't have any. So no more rock in our XML. So this is our nickel mine. So that should be functioning now. I want to get our hotspot in because I always forget it. So let's get our, so let's duplicate this. I think our global company made it perfect. So that's right where it needs to be. So this one is nickel mine. And then let's fix our hotspot before we go in and test this one. Map SA. So let's copy this one, paste it back in. So you are nickel. And you are nickel. And then let's get our X and our Z, and we'll resave the map. And Z. Alright, now let's save this again. And this should work now. Should is the shoulda, coulda, woulda. I've been singing that all morning. So while that's saving, I'm just going to go back and double check my 110. So everything looks good there. My rock palette is fixed. We're up to 20,000 liters per boulder. Everything in our XML looks good. So let's minimize this. Let's jump back in game. Save game 8. And we'll see if we get nickel boulders to spawn. I'm going to do sand a little bit different. We're going to do silt a little bit different. And then there's a new fill type we have to work on as well. Okay, so let's grab some cash. Let's grab some speed. Again, ignore the map, but we should now have, we do our nickel mine hotspot. So let's go visit. So we should have our nickel mine. We do. Shouldn't have any global company menu because we didn't buy it yet. So let's buy this piece of property. Nickel mine's going to be 423,000, so you're going to have to earn it. Let's, all right, so there is our, perfect, so we got our global company menu. Let's grab our store delivery mod. Let's grab our truck. Let's grab our tanker. All right, let's jump in here. Ignore the big wall on the right hand side. There's too much space down here. I'm going to shrink it down and make the space even tighter. That's temporary. But let me, here, Papa Smurf, let me get rid of the map. Let me zoom all the way out. Let's drive back up the ramp. Like I said, ignore that wall on the right. I'm going to bring it way in, so this mine is a lot tighter and smaller. But I'll show you what we got going on so far. Let me drive up the ramp and back down. Again, this road's probably going to go a little bit skinnier as well. I'm going to see what it looks like bringing the big rock truck up here. But there'll be a road that comes down from here, from the main road, when you cross the bridge out of Center Mountain. We'll be able to come straight across. Oh, nice. Wipeout. Wipeout. All right. Reset. Oh, is it not going to let me because of my shop delivery? It is not going to let me because of my shop. Oh, because I'm in it. Now let me reset it. So let's try that again. The view looks pretty good when you're driving down in, if I can show you without flipping. This is the kind of day I've been having. I've been having a day where everything I touch just goes to shit today. It took me like 14 tries to get the rock mine fixed, or the coal mine fixed. So let's come back up here. I'll make a slower turn. I'll show you what the view looks like coming back down in. It looks pretty cool. And then we'll bring the rock truck up here later once we get a load in it. But this is definitely too wide. I'm going to narrow this up. I'm going to narrow the whole mine up after I get them all in and functioning, so it's a lot tighter. But let me make a slower turn. So actually, when you're driving down in, it looks pretty cool. So it'll be a lot tighter. It'll be a lot more textured, and it'll look a lot better when we're driving down in here, but it's looking really cool. And then I'll probably put one more ramp coming up on this end after when we get all the mines in. I'll probably make one more cut there. Alright, so let's grab some diesel. Let's make sure this one's going to work. And let me spin back around because I was driving to the wrong trigger. And again, I know all these houses are the same. They're just a placeholder. I'm going to move them. I just want to get it functioning. Alright, let's throw in our load of diesel. Should activate this, and it did. I don't have smoke on this one. Why? I've got smoke on the rest of them. I don't have, because I duplicated. We'll get to go in and fix the smoke particle. So we will have to go in and fix the smoke particle. Let's wait for our boulders. I can't duplicate it, I got to import it. So we should drop our 5 boulders. You should have only one entrance for in and out, makes more realistic. That'll work. Make them drive the boulders over to the crusher. I can live with that. Then we'll see how the rock truck looks going up the ramp. I'm going to definitely need to make it a little bit more narrow, I think. But I got to figure out why I don't have smoke at the head like I do on the other ones. So we're going to have to go in and figure that one out. Now I'm going to dump some fuel. I'm going to dump some diesel in the previous one just to make sure that all the heads are smoking like they should. And this did not drop my nickel. Why did you not drop my nickel? I was not standing in the trigger. We have, yeah, this one's not dropping. We're having the same issue with this one as I did with the coal mine. Right. So let's go back and figure out why this one's not dropping our nickel. I want to check something before I go back out. I want to make sure the head on this one is smoking or gives me dust or whatever you want to call it. Oh, we don't own it. Hold on. Alright. Beacons are working. Yes, I got smoke on the head. We're going to have to go back in and fix a couple things. Let's go figure out why we're not dropping nickel. So let's start with the nickel pallet. So we have 20,000 liters. We have 20,000 liters. So that is the same as our other rocks that we've been dropping on the last 3 mines. 20,000. So these are all 20,000. So that's all correct. This is set up exactly like our other XMLs. Let me make sure I'm on the right folder. Let me close that a minute. Let me reopen this. Documents, my games, because I got 2 different maps. Ritchie Valley. So what I want to do is I want to close the nickel mine. I want to close the rock pallet a minute, and I want to close my 110 a minute. So my 110 is here. So let's just double check there. So we're going to produce nickel. We're putting our diesel. We're outputting nickel, and our output is nickel. So nothing looks wrong there. Objects, pallets, global company. This is the same problem I was having with the coal mine earlier today. So nickel pallet, nickel rock pallet. It's going to drop nickel rock. It's 20,000 liters, and our fill level start is 20,000 liters, and that's where it has to be. So that is the same as, let's go to our coal. So our coal pallet, because no coal is working. So we have our coal rock, it's at 20,000, and our start fill level's at 20,000. So that is the same as our nickel. So there's nothing different there. Start fill type, start fill level. So there's nothing wrong there. So let's go back to Ritchie Valley. Ritchie Valley, placeables, global company, nickel mine. Nickel mine. We're outputting nickel. The fill type is nickel. They're at 20,000 liters. Nickel pallet. Hold on, our nickel pallet is wrong. It's nickel rock pallet. You are nickel rock pallet. It's nickel rock. And you should be nickel rock. Because it was referring to the wrong pallet. So let's save that. And I want to double check something. I want to double check my coal mine. It should be coal rock pallet. It is. Ore mine should be ore rock pallet. Okay, so I think that was our problem. I had the pallet name wrong. So let's nickel rock, nickel rock, nickel rock. Okay, so now it should spawn correctly. So let's go back in game. And this should now spawn properly. Oh, hold on. Let's not go back in game. Let's fix our smoke. So let's go back in here first. And then I got to figure out why. Let's find my node. It's been a while. All right, where is the smoke that comes out of the head? I'm going to have to find... I'm going to have to go through this. Here's our particle system. All right, so there's my particle system for my smoke and my soil. All right, so we're going to take this, because they can't be duplicated. They have to be exported and imported. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to create a temporary folder in here to use. No, I'm not. I'm going to use, never mind, I don't want to do that. It's going to mess up my textures and all my other shit. Well, let me delete that. I want to use new buildings, or yeah, I'm going to use new buildings. Let's go File, Export, Ritchie Valley, New Buildings, PARTICLESYSTEM. So let's save you. New buildings, particle system. I just want to make sure there's no new buildings textures. We got to fix that. So new buildings, all this shit has to come back out. Textures, no. Why do I have new buildings? Oh, well, I'll fix it. That's a project for another day. All right, so now we got to come over here to this one. I got to go to my animation. No, I got to go to particle systems. So let's go File, Import, Particle Systems. I have to go Edit, Cut, Top, Edit, Paste. And I got to move you up. I got to move you up. I got to move you up. And then we delete that one. And then this one goes right into the same spot that was. And then let's save this. And we'll go in game and we'll take a peek at it. Because it was a dime. There's a dead joke. If I ever heard one. Let's let this save. Now we should have our particle systems working, and our boulder should now be at 10,000 liters per, or 20,000 liters per boulder, drops 5 boulders. So that gives you 100,000 liters when you pick up your 5 boulders. All right, now we go back in game and it should be working. All right, so let's come back here. We'll start another new game. Yeah, Papa, since I was doing all these terrain changes today, I had to delete my test map. That I was working with for all the new factories. All right, let's do this again. Let's go. Let's grab some cash. Let's grab some speed. Let's come over here and let's purchase the property. So nickel mine. And then let's teleport our butts over there. Let's grab store delivery mod. Let's grab our truck. Let's grab our tanker. Grab some diesel. Let's grab some diesel. Now we should be dropping nickel rock at the proper. I'm going to have to move these houses and these triggers. But this is just temporary to get them working. Alright, now we have our particle systems working again. Alright, so that's working. We have our beacons on until it drops our boulders. I cannot make it drop 8 to 10. It blocks up the trigger and they don't register. So I can only drop 5. So I took it, that's why I changed them from 10,000 liters each to 20,000 liters each. If I drop more than 5, they stack up on top of each other and it doesn't register in the trigger. And then you have to exit the game and go back in to clear the trigger. So these should be now 20,000 liters each, and they are. This should show 0. For some reason it doesn't clear the first, it shows 0 the first time, but after that it goes back to working normal, and I don't know why, and I can't fix it. But it should show that trigger full when it drops the first 5. Let me get those picked up. And let's see if when I drop the next 5, if it shows them in the trigger. But for some reason, sometimes it shows 0 and sometimes it shows the trigger full when they drop the first time, and it should always show the trigger being full until you clear them out. So let's spawn out 5 more. Yeah, the way that the rocks drop, if I drop more than 5, they stack up on top of each other, and then they don't register all 5 being in the trigger. And then the trigger doesn't reset to 0. Because when they drop the 5 rocks, my trigger should be showing full in my global company menu. So if you want 1,000,000 liters, you just do this 10 times and then just run them over to the crusher. So by 5 rocks dropping at 20,000 liters each, we're getting 100,000 liters every time we drop 5 boulders. All right, now my trigger should show full until I move them. And they're showing 0, and they shouldn't be showing 0. All right, let me check something. I know, I don't like the in-game log. You can yell at me. I want to check the log. Make sure I didn't mess anything up. So there's no errors with the factory. It's just not registering my trigger for some reason. So why are you not registering in the trigger? Because they're bouncing out of the trigger. So let's make the trigger a little bit bigger. Let's go in and move the trigger. Oh wait, hold on. No, I don't want to exit without saving. Let's save this. Alright, now let's go move the trigger. Yeah, that trigger is so sensitive and the rocks don't land properly. It messes it up, but if I take this trigger and I make it a little bit bigger, and then I can actually make it just a hair taller, and it's got to be just touching the ground. Alright, let me save this and see if that, let me go just a hair bigger, and I can slide you out even a little bit further. Alright, so let's try that. Let's save this. This is the only one giving me a hard time. The other ones were working fine all morning. And if you notice in the background up at the very top, I got the map border done. So the map border is completely done. Alright, so let's jump back in here. Now, one good thing about this spawner not clearing is you can just drop 5 more boulders without picking them up. Alright, so if we come over here, yeah, I know, I forgot about the auto load again when your truck is full. So let's shake them out of there. Alright, let's turn auto load back on, let's pick them back up. Let's get these picked up so we can clear the trigger and then spawn 5 more out and see if that works. Let me get my speed back. Alright, so this should show nothing in the trigger. Let's dump diesel back in there. We'll wait for these to drop. Yeah, you can do this like 5 times, which will be 100,000 liters per drop. So if you drop 5 times, you get 500,000 liters. 500,000 liters will keep your crusher going for like 12 hours. So we have, these should be 20,000 liters, they are. And my triggers are empty. I have no freaking idea why the triggers keep going empty. It should show full. My other ones are showing full. Let me buy, let's buy this one. Let's buy this one. Let's drop diesel all the way down and come back. Again, I have all these props and everything else to work on after I get everything functioning. Get you running. Let's get you running. Let's go back to the first one. I'm going to clear those and drop another load of diesel. And then after these drop, we'll come back and double check and see if the spawners are clearing or staying full. The spawner should stay full until I pull the rocks off the trigger. Now I'm wondering if my trigger has the wrong i3D path. So I'm going to go in and check the trigger i3D pathing, make sure I didn't mess anything up. So let's pull these off of there. Let's drop another load while you're working. See, this trigger's full. That's how it's supposed to work. So this trigger's full. So we have our ore. And our ore trigger's full. And we have our coal. And our coal trigger's full. Why is my nickel trigger not staying full? Empty. You didn't drop yet. Alright, you didn't drop yet. Let's see if it stays full or goes empty when it drops. Alright, so you dropped. Now, what are you doing? You staying full or you going empty? You're going empty. It's my trigger's not registering them. Let me do something. Let's jump back in here. Let's get these out of the trigger. Let me get this truck emptied. Let's save this. I want to check my i3D pathing. And I'm going to figure out why my trigger's not. Where are my, where's the whole factory? Is the whole factory too high or too low? It should be right at 150, and it is. Here's the rock mine. Nickel mine. You're at right at 150, so you're at the right height because the ground is even. Oh, which trigger was I adjusting? There's multiple pallet triggers. Alright, hold on. Let me get them all adjusted up. I forgot there's one pallet trigger per boulder. So let's get you scaled up a little bit. Let's get you scaled up a little bit. Let's get you scaled up. A little bit. And then you should be the one I adjust. We'll make you a little bigger anyway. So there's my 5. My place node should be right where the boulder spawns. So those are correct. Now let's check my triggers. Let me just check the log while I'm here, make sure there's no weird errors. Just one HUD I have to fix. Alright, and driving dust. Alright, so where are we? We are nickel rock pallet. I can close nickel mine. My trigger node, pallet trigger, pallet spawn trigger, place node. Skip the first 2. I think these are backwards. Trigger spawn is 101. So no, they're correct. So my spawn node is that one. Yeah, so these are correct. 101, 101, 103, 5, 7, and 9. So 101, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and these should be 100, 102, 2, 4, 6, 8, 100, 2, 4. So my i3D mapping is correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they're numbered correct. So nickel, 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 nickel rock pallet. Nickel, 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 nickel rock pallet. Nickel, 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 nickel rock pallet, number 5. Now, the only other thing I did, and I made the other boulders just a hair smaller. Let me look at something. Let's save this. Let's go into Ritchie Valley. Objects, pallets, global company. I want to open up the coal rock palette. Oh, it's not going to open until this saves. All right, let this save, and we're going to look at the size of the rock. Come on, save. There we go. Now you should be open. All right, I want to create a plane just so I have something to work off of. All right. Now I'm going to file import. I want to import in the nickel rock palette over this. And they're the same size. So that's not my problem. So that they're the same size. So the nickel's the same size as the coal. Oh, I brought two coals in. All right, hold on. Let me do that again. Let's go to nickel rock palette. Told you it's one of those days I should have stayed in bed today. Nickel rock palette. Create a plane just so I can see. All right, and let's go File, Import. I want to import the coal rock palette on top of this one to see if they're the same size. And they are, so that's not my problem. The boulders are the same size. So it's not a problem with the boulders. So here's what we do now. We come in here, we go to out. I come over here, we know our coal is working. So let's go to our coal mine. I'm going to take out, right? Yeah, I'm going to take out. I'm going to go File, Export, Ritchie Valley, New Buildings. I'm going to go out. Alright, so that brought our coal triggers out of the map. So now let's come down here to the nickel mine and let's go File, Import. I'm going to import out. I'm going to go Edit, Cut, Nickel Mine, Edit, Paste. I'm going to move it up. I'm going to move it up so it doesn't mess up my i3D mapping. We'll take this one and we'll delete it. So those are our new triggers. So let's save this. Maybe because I duplicated it and I didn't import them and export them. Like redo the XML. I don't think it's the XML. I'm almost positive it's the triggers. So let this save. Now let's go back in. And if this doesn't work, we'll trash the XML. We'll rebuild the XML, but I'm almost positive it's going to be a trigger issue. I'm going to delete this save game. We're going to go back in. Let's start a new save. I think it's because I duplicated it and didn't import it and export it. Because it messes up the particle systems also when you duplicate it. So let's try this mess for about the 100th time today. Let's grab some money. Let's grab some speed. let's buy this piece of property. And then let's teleport our butts over there. Now we should have... Oh, wrong one. Oh, did I move the wrong... Oh, I just teleported to the wrong one. Never mind. Alright, so we have our nickel. Alright, so our global company menu is working. Let's grab a truck for about 100th time today. And let's grab a tanker. And, ooh, what time is it? I'm gonna have to go out and help her finish dinner real soon. But let me see. Bear with me one sec. Ooh, wrong one. Oh no, it's only 3 o'clock. Never mind. I'm not good with military time. It's only 3 o'clock. I got some time. Alright, let's grab some diesel. Let's see what happens this time when we spawn our nickel rocks out of here. And while we're waiting for our rocks, you've seen them drop 100 times. I'm just going to grab our mining truck. Let's see if this cleared the trigger or if I'm showing it full. And it's clearing the trigger. Why? I have no idea why it's clearing the trigger. Alright. Alright. Let's do it. Particle systems I don't need. Nickel mine. I'm going to close it. So let's go Ritchie Valley, placeables, global company, nickel mine, delete. Let's go ore mine. Let's copy you and paste it in. We're going to rename it nickel mine. And then we're going to have to do this all over again. So search, replace, nickel mine. Alright, so that takes care of that. So nickel mine, nickel mine, nickel mine, nickel mine, nickel mine. Alright, so now we change ore rock to nickel rock. Our fill type is nickel rock. My fill type was wrong on my other one. It was that simple. Hold on. I think that was wrong. Open. Hold on. I want to do something really quick. Hold on a sec. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. I think I know what the problem was. Nickel. Oh crap, there's 2 of them. This one. Restore. I want to see something. Nickel mine. Here's my problem. It's nickel rock is the fill type. Fill type is nickel rock. Fill type is nickel rock. it's not spawning us the nickel, it's spawning us the nickel rock. That's why my boulders aren't spawning. And that's why my boulders are not registering. Alright, so we should have nickel rock, nickel rock, fill type nickel rock, fill type nickel rock, fill type nickel rock, and my palette should be nickel rock all the way down. Now this should work. I had the wrong fill type, it was spawning the wrong boulder. I don't think we're going to get all the mines done today. We should get nickel done, we should get copper in. And then after we have 1, 2, silt's going to be done a little bit differently. So we have 1, 2, after nickel's done, we have 3 more mines to put in. And I don't know if we're going to get them done today, but for the 101st time today, let's grab some cash, some speed. Let's buy our property. Nickel mine. Alright, so we have our global company menu. This time it actually says nickel rock. I think that's what my problem was. I'm being an idiot all day today, not getting the right shit done and taking 10 times to make one thing work. It's been that way ever since I got up this morning. But we should be fixed now because I was spawning the wrong fill type. Diesel, where are you? Right there. We should be good this time. So they should actually say nickel rock when they spawn this time. Actually, we only have 1, 2 copper. We've got, after nickel's done, we got copper. We're going to do sand a little bit differently. Silt's going to get done differently, and then there's a new fill type to do. So we got a few more to do before we build our crushers. Our crusher singular. Even our crusher is going to be different on this map. There's going to be one crusher for all the boulders. Alright, so you should now say nickel rock. You do say nickel rock. Now, I'm praying that our spawners are full. This is how it's supposed to work. So now let's grab our mining truck. And let's do that like 2 or 3 more times to make sure it's working properly. And then we're going to drive this big boy out of the mines, and we'll see, because I know I'm going to have to make that road a little bit smaller. I think that road going up the mountain is going to be just a little bit too big. But let's fill this truck up. And park you there. This should have cleared our triggers. And it did, so they're now all back at 0. So now it's working the way it should because I had the wrong fill type in. So while we're waiting for you to spawn, so I want to drive this up the hill with a full load. Oh, it shouldn't matter because it takes the weight off when the auto load is on, so it shouldn't matter if I have a full load or not. Okay, you're not going to take any because you're still working. Alright, so now they dropped. Our trigger should stay full, and it does. So let's grab that load, and then it should clear our triggers. I'm going to grab one more load and we're going to drive up the hill. Alright, so that cleared our triggers. Let's grab one more load. Yeah, Pop, I like your idea. One road in, one road out. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the crusher. There's going to be one way into the crusher and then one way out. I don't know where I'm putting the crusher yet. I've got an idea of something I want to try. I don't know if it's going to work. But I have something I want to try. But that'll be tomorrow's project. Because I won't even have all the boulders spawned. Alright, so there's our boulders, and our thing is full. So now it's working the way it should. Let's grab these guys, and let's see how our road looks. I think I want to make the road a little bit smaller, depending on how it looks with this mining truck driving up. I'm going to jump out really quick and make sure our spawner went to 0, and then we'll jump back in. Yep, our spawner cleared. Alright, so now it's working the way it should. Let's see how this truck looks going up the ramp. Yeah, I want to make this road even more narrow. It's still a little bit too wide. So we're going to narrow this up a little bit more. It's about half of what it is now. And then we'll drive this to wherever I'm going to put the crushers. Yeah, this road, I'm going to cut this road in about half. So I want to just barely fit down here with the truck. Alright, let's get out of here. We'll worry about making the road smaller after all of them are in and working. Then I can work on the road. So, let's go. Yeah, let's go back to replace 150 right where we want to be. So let's cut you back, and let's start making room for copper. And again, this side here, I'm going to bring this wall way back to about here, so there's just a small road coming in. Alright, so let's take you back, because I can always fill you back in. So let's take you bigger than what I need, and we'll fill it in like we did last time. It's just much easier that way. Alright, so you are nickel, and my top layer was 200. So my top layer here has to come out. Alright, so that cleans up my top layer all the way back. Alright, so let's bring our top layer over a little bit more. And let me go a little bit bigger so I can always fill it back in. It's easier to fill it back in than it is to make it bigger. Alright, now so you're my 200 level, so let's go to 180. Let's get our next layer in. So you are about here. And I went too far back, but I can fill it back in. So let's get our 180 level in. And I went too far back, so let's fill this back in. So let me go back to 206 a minute so I can go all the way up. Let me go back to 200. So let's bring this layer back to here. Alright, so there's my 200 layer. And then this 200 layer has to come all the way across to about here. And that's my 200 layer. Now so we go from there down to, let's go back to 180. And then we come over here. We get our 180 level a little bit bigger than I need. Again, I'll fill it back in later. And then we get our, so that's my next layer down. And you're about even. So now I gotta come back here, I gotta fix this. So let's go to 180. Take U square. Go to 200, take U square there. Then I go to 150, and we take U down to my bottom level, my bottom layer. And then I got to bring my 200 back to even that top back out. So I'm not worried about the left side. We can adjust that once we figure out exactly how much room we need. But this gets me started. Take, again, this is going to be bigger than what I need, but it's easier to fill it back in. And then I want to take my 200, let's square U back up, so let's go to 180, and we'll square U up for now. And then we go to 200, and we bring this back out, and now fixes our top layer. That gets us close. So now let's grab our copper, and we'll just rough that in really quick. And like I said, we'll fix the edges later, make it look nice and uniform, and I just want to rough it in for now, just to get it working. And then this will split the difference about half. And come about here. All right, so there is our copper. And let me just clean this line up a little bit. If I don't make that even, it's going to drive me nuts. And then we go back to, let me just, so I know where I want to be. So now I go back to 150, and we get our floor nice and even. And we go to let's grab some rough dirt just to get the green color out of here. And I'll clean up the edges later. I got a lot of textures to clean up. This will get us a slate to work off of. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let me do a quick save. While that's saving, I'm going to go to Ritchie Valley, new building. So out, I can now delete particle systems. I can delete coal mine, I3D, I don't need. Ore mine, I3D, I don't need. Rock mine, I don't need. So I don't need any of that. We are going to go to, we're going to name this copper mine. I'm going to take the nickel mine. I'm going to go File, Export, New Buildings. We're going to call it the copper mine. And then we're going to go File, Import. I'm going to import it back in. And then all we have to do is slide it over. And we're going to have to bring it, let me get it where I want it. So let's come over this way a little bit and in about there. Now we come over here, we clean up. So we go back to 180. Let me click off of that so it's not highlighted. So now we bring this over and we fix our mine. So you're going to be right about here. And then we could take our, actually, yeah, we'll take our 200 level and we can even bring that in a little bit more. So that gets me right about where I want it. Did I see some tech? No, I see some grass. Let's go to subtract. Let's get rid of this grass. Alright, so this should be, we're going to have to rename it. We'll rename it here in a minute. So that should be right where I want it. So you are copper mine. You are copper mine. And then when we build our XML is going to be copper mine. Alright, so that's that part done. We need, it needs its own farmland. So let's go to our farmlands XML. Next on the list is going to be copper mine. And then let's turn it on. And we're going to be farmland 6 and they're bits 1 and 2. So farmland bits, oh come on, I hate when it does that. Bits, come on, farmland bits 1 and 2, and that's going to be number 6. So now we can even up our mine, come all the way over to here, and then I'm going to overpaint it and we'll fix it with the next farmland. like to move my camera around a couple times to make sure I didn't miss any squares within it, and I did. See, because if your camera's turned the wrong way, you can't see it. So let's go this angle. Let's push this straight back to there. Alright, so this is our copper mine. And our copper mine is now number 6. So that should be everything in map to get this working. So let's save that. While that's saving, let's go to our 110. Let's duplicate this. And we'll change all of nickel mine to copper mine. Ooh, come on, I wanted to replace. So now I'm going to have to very carefully skip the first one, come back to this one, and go replace. Alright, so you are going to produce copper rock, actually. Let's change you to nickel rock. You're going to produce rock, you produce ore rock, and you produce coal rock. Alright, so you are going to produce, actually you are going to produce nickel rock. You are going to produce copper rock. Alright, so you are a copper mine. You are going to produce copper rock. So let's change this one to rock. Diesel's going to be in. Output is copper rock. And again, let's go up to the previous one and rename it rock. And then the output is copper rock. I'm going to change this one to nickel rock. Alright, so produces copper rock. Production line 1 is copper rock. It's copper mine, produces copper rock. Input diesel, copper rock, copper rock. So that's our 110. So nickel mine I'm going to close because we're done with it. Nickel rock palette I'm going to close because we're done with it. So now we go Ritchie Valley, objects, nope, yep, objects, palettes. Oh, excuse me, I hope I had my mic muted. Alright, so where am I? Copper rock palette. You have to go to 20,000 and then our start fill level has to be 20,000. So let's save that. So now we go to Ritchie Valley, Placeables Global Company. We're going to take our nickel mine. We're going to copy it. We're going to rename it copper mine. We're going to change every nickel mine to copper mine. We are going to go back up to the top and work our way back down. So let me get all my capitals done first, then we'll do all the lowercase. You are copper. You are copper. You are, and you. Alright, now our fill type. And our palette is your copper and our palette is copper. So we have copper rock, copper rock, copper rock. Copper rock number 1 is done, I mean. Alright, so that one's done. So number 3. So copper, copper, and then nickel is copper. So that one's done. Let me try and keep an eye on the clock because I'm gonna actually have to help her with dinner tonight. Copper, 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 and then one more. Copper and copper. So that should be everything there, and then we just got to change these. And these have to be capital. Save this. Now if I go Control F, nickel, make sure I didn't miss any. And there's no nickel left in here. So technically our copper mine should now, nope, I missed the, I always miss it, I missed the icon. Let's put the icon in. Let's get our hotspot in. And then we'll save this again. And we'll see if this tests out fine. Alright, so you are about there. I'll just pull this out a little bit. That works. Alright, so let's go here. Let's rename you Copper Mine. Let's not save you yet. Let's go to Map SA. And let's make you a copper mine. So we'll make you a copper mine, and then we'll grab our coordinates. And RC. Alright, so let's save that. So that should be our hotspot done. Let's save this again. And then we'll jump in line. We'll jump in game and we'll see how our copper behaves. Oh, I need sleep. I either need sleep or alcohol. One of the two. And while this is saving, before I go in game, let me know if there's anybody in chat that's new and has not seen this map yet. Because if you've not seen this map yet, I'll, instead of coming over here and spawning in and moving my my store deliveries, I'll actually buy the vehicle at the store and then drive across the map. So you get to see what the map looks like a little bit. So let me know if anybody's here that has not seen the map yet while this is loading. No takers, so everybody has seen the map. So I'm not going to drive across the map. We'll head right over to the mines. And for the 102nd time today, let's throw in some cash. Let's get some speed. We should now have a new farmland to purchase our copper mine. We do. And I'm going to teleport my butt over there since nobody wants to see. Oh, why do you say, did I not rename it? You say nickel rock. Oh, I missed one. I missed something. You say nickel rock. So what did I miss? I missed something in the 110. So let's save this. And we'll quit out. And we'll figure out why it says nickel and not copper, because I missed something. So I know I didn't spawn to the wrong one. How we doing? Hi. Let us come back over here to the 110 and see what I messed up. Produces copper rock. Copper, copper, copper. Why? Hold on. What the heck? How did you get changed from nickel to copper? So let's take you back to nickel. So you're the nickel mine, you produce nickel rock. Nickel mine, nickel mine, nickel rock, nickel mine, nickel. Alright, so that's all put back to nickel. So copper, you produce copper rock, copper mine, copper mine, copper rock, copper mine, copper mine, copper rock. Alright, how that got messed up is beyond me, but it's been one of those days. So you're all copper, and then you should all be copper, because there was no more nickel left in here. Alright, let's go back in game and see if that fixed it. Did I rename the wrong XML? Because my luck, I did. So let's teleport back over here. Okay, so now you all say copper. It doesn't say nickel anymore. Alright, so whatever I did fixed it. Alright, so let's grab my speed back. Let's grab our store delivery mod. And let's make sure we're getting copper rock. Alright. Grab some diesel. I think we're going to work on some buildings and props tomorrow in here before we build a crusher. Alright, so that fired this one up. Let's make sure our rocks spawn out. As our header, do we have our smoke and our dust and all of that working? We do. So you should drop 5 copper rock boulders. Alright, so what do you say you are and what's your weight? So you say copper rock, you say 20,000 liters. What does our trigger say? Trigger says full. Perfect. Let's grab our truck. And let's grab our boulders, make sure our spawner's clear. So we have our copper rock that eventually we'll take to the crusher once we build a crusher tomorrow. This should have cleared our triggers, and it did. And then we should drop 5 more. So nickel is done. I'm going to call copper done. We're going to do sandstone. Sandstone is we're going to have to create a new fill type, a new boulder, a new palette. So we'll see if we can get that done before dinner. And then I don't know if I want to do a silt pond like we've been doing, or if I want to make silt at the crusher. Because silt, I think I'm going to do it on the ground like we've been doing it. So we'll have a silt pond. We'll build a silt pond. We'll leave silt the way it is. We'll scoop it up off the ground. Alright, so there's our boulders. We should have, perfect, our triggers are full. Let's make sure our trigger's clear. Our triggers are, we'll double check our trigger. And then I can't wait till we build our crushers tomorrow. And our trigger's clear. Alright, I'm going to call copper done. So let's get out of here. Now before I go any further, I want to check the log for errors before we start with something new with sand. I just have to fix the HUD. Alright, so there's no errors with any of the mines. So let's close you, close you. I can keep you open. I can close you because I don't need you anymore. Alright, so that cleans this up. Alright, so we are going to create a new fill type. I'm going to come up here where our mining product is. So let's find alright, let's come up here. We're about where I want to be. Alright, so let's grab nickel rock. Let's copy this. And we're going to call it sandstone. call it sandstone. Now the HUD, the picture doesn't matter because you don't see it in the store. So the picture, the HUD picture really doesn't matter. So sandstone, my fill type, is what I want. I'm going to come down here and under this category where piece is, it doesn't matter where I put it, but I like to keep all my stuff together. So let's come over here where our other stones are, right here. So let's go right here. Let's go sandstone. Alright, so that's going to be, sandstone is going to be a new fill type. Now let's go to Ritchie Valley, Objects, Palettes, Global Company. Let's grab our Coal Rock palette right here. I'm going to go File, Export Selection, Ritchie Valley, Objects, Palettes, Global Company. We're going to call it Sandstone Palette. I'm going to close that. We're going to take our Coal Rock palette. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. We're going to rename it Sandstone Palette. We're going to open up the i3D. I'm going to open up the XML, both with Notepad++. Now, we are tied to our coal diffuse texture. I want to come up here to textures a minute, and I want to see something. I may have to bring a new texture in to do what I want to do. So textures. Do I have my sandstone in here? We don't. So let's go. Let's leave this open. I'm going to open up a new folder. I'm going to go 16x map, common files, textures, terrain. I want to find my sandstone. And I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll see. I can always use sand. I want to grab this one. So let's, I'm going to copy this into here. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to take the O1 off. I just want to call it Sandstone, and I'm going to do it all lowercase. Let's call it Sandstone Diffuse. I want to, it's too big now. I'm going to go Image, Resize 512 by 512. And we're going to go Save as a DTX1. We're going to come back here. We're going to change Coal 1 Diffuse to Sandstone Diffuse. Now we're going to save that. I'm going to leave the i3D open a second. We're going to come back down here to Sandstone. So where am I? Sandstone palette here. So you should now be like a sandstone color. You are. So let's leave it like that for now. So my sandstone i3D is fixed. So let's take this, let's call this Sandstone palette. Our i3D is Sandstone palette. Our fill type is going to be sandstone. And our fill type here is going to be sandstone. Alright, so this is our new fill type for sandstone. We're going to have a new boulder. We're going to do sandstone boulders, and you're going to have to crush it down to sand. Alright, so this is our sandstone palette. I'm going to leave that open. Now I got to go to mod description. We have to add our new palette in here. So we now have a sandstone palette. So that's our mod description fixed. Now we are going to come back into, I can close this, I don't need that open anymore. Let's come back in here. And do I have room? Yes, so I have room. We are going to create a sandstone mine, just like we did with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however many we have going so far. So let's go back to, do I need to get rid of some grass? Yeah, let's get rid of some grass first. So let's go to subtract. It's on subtract. Let's get rid of some grass just for one more mine. And it's 4 o'clock. I got about an hour and I got to get out of here. So let's try and get our sandstone mine in. And then tomorrow we can build some crushers. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to replace. Let's go to 150. And then let's cut our road back for now. Again, we're going to make this smaller and resize it tomorrow or later today or whatever. But I want to make this, I want this to feel a lot smaller and tighter than what it currently is. So let's take you back. And this is going to be our last mine. So our sandstone is going to be our last mine in this area. We're going to do silt somewhere else. And I've got one new fill type I will reveal tomorrow. We're going to do that somewhere else as well. Let me go just a little bit deeper. Alright, something like that. Now let's go to, my top layer is 200. So let's bring this guy over. To there. That flattens that out. So let's bring our 200 layer down. And over. All right. And then this is probably too big or too small. We may have to make this a little bit bigger, but we'll see. So now let's go to our 180. And then let's go down a little bit more. So let's take you back a little bit further. Let's come across. Yeah, I think I made this too small. I may have to make this a little bit bigger. So let's bring you too far. So let's bring you over a little bit further. something like this, and then let's go to 150, and then let's cut in our lower level. Oh, a little bit too far. Let's try this again. Try not to mess it up. Let's go all the way back to about there. Alright, now let's try that again. Let's come over this way. And let's cut in this layer. And again, I think this is going to be too narrow. I may have to widen this up a little bit. But this will get me started. And then I'm on 150, yeah, so let's just take this and cut you off even right there. Let's take our, again, dirt for now, and this is going to change once we get our final textures in. But this will just get me close to where I want to be. Before I paint this, let's go up here to Global Company. Let's duplicate that so we have a couple more blank ones to work with. And you are going to be sandstone mine. And now in my Ritchie Valley new buildings, I still have the copper mine in here, so we're going to go File, Import, Ritchie Valley, New Buildings, Copper Mine. We're going to rename it Sandstone Mine. So Edit, Cut, Sandstone Mine, and Paste. And then you are over here, so we just got to move you down. And again, I'm almost positive this space might be a little tight, maybe not. Actually, it's going to work out perfect because this is our last one and I don't want the space real big. So this I think is going to work out perfect. Let's just get it, let's get you down this way a little bit more. And let me turn you, I don't want to go, I got to leave, no, let's turn you back this way. Right about now, you're too far. I may have to make the space just a little bit bigger. I want enough room for our boulders to drop. And again, I'll get all these triggers and stuff moved. Alright, so let's take you, and now let's go back to 150. Let me get off of you so you're not green. No, let's go to 180. So let's bring our 180 down to right here. And then let's take our, let's go to, what are we? I want sandy stone. Oh, wrong one. Here. And this is going to be our sandstone mine. Something like this. And again, we'll clean up this whole mess tomorrow before we start the crusher. We'll get all this looking pretty with some landscaping and props and get all of our edges and textures clean. Alright, so you are going to be sandstone. You are also going to need your own farmland. So you're going to be sandstone mine. You're going to be farmland ID 7, and so your bits 0, 1, and 2. So let's get you painted in. Farmland bit 0, 1, and 2, which is number 7, which is the one I want. So let's come over here, and we'll get you painted in. Like so. And again, I'm just going to go bigger, and then we'll back paint it the exact size when we do the next one over. And then we'll spin the camera around. And we'll cover the road coming in, which is going to get made a lot smaller, but we'll get it covered for now. So that will be our sandstone mine. So let's come back down here. You are going to be farmland 7 and sandstone mine. Sandstone mine, and in our XML will be no longer nickel. We're going to be sandstone mine. So that should be, oh, and we're going to need a hotspot. So let's get our hotspot in before we save. Copper mine. Let's drag you down here. We'll rename you sandstone mine. Let's go to map SA. Control V, you are. Now the problem is I think we're going to have to add sandstone to the big truck. I don't think sandstone is a fill type for the big mining truck. I think we're going to have to edit it. This is probably not going to pick up these new sandstone boulders. So you are now our sandstone mine. So let's get our X and our Z. And this one. Alright. So that is our hotspot done. Let's save this. While that's saving, let's go to the 110. Let's copy this down to here. Copper mine. Let's see if I can do this right this time. Replace sandstone mine. Alright, so it's going to produce sandstone. You are sandstone, you're a sandstone mine. Sandstone, no more copper rock. And one more. Sandstone. So we're gonna have sandstone boulders. So that should be our 110. So now if we go to placeables, global company, let's copy, let's do nickel mine. Let's copy that and paste it back in, and let's rename you sandstone mine. And then all of nickel mine is going to get replaced with sandstone mine. And then let's get our uppercase done first. And then let's get our lowercase done. Oh, that has to be lowercase. So sandstone. So let me copy this. So nickel rock, nickel rock. Nickel rock, and then our palette is going to be a sandstone palette. So let's change our palettes. Alright, so let's save that so far, and then I just need sandstone. So let's copy this one. So these get changed to uppercase. Sandstone. Now if I go Control F, make sure we got no instances of nickel left in here, and we don't. So this should now, technically our sandstone mine should work. So let's go back in game. Do I have anybody watching, or am I talking to myself? I got a few watching. Alright, let's jump back in game. I'll see if we can spawn sandstone boulders. So, delete game 8. Let's go back into a new save. I got a few watching, but you're probably all sleeping. I probably bored everybody to death. But I'm surprised we got this many mines done and working actually. So for 103rd time today, let's grab some cash. Let's grab some speed. Sassy one's awake. Alright, we got some cash. Let's go to, we should now have a sandstone mine. Why do we own it? We're gonna have to go in and fix that. I don't want us to own that on the beginning, so I'm going to go in and change Let me fix it right now before I forget. So let's take our farmland XML and you go to false. So I don't want to own you when we start the game. Alright, so since we own it, I'm going to leave it. Let's go visit. So now we should have sandstone. And let's see if it works. So let's grab our store delivery mod. Let's grab a truck and a tanker for 103rd time today. And tanker. Alright. So let's grab some diesel. And again, I'm going to move all these. That'll be a project for tomorrow. We'll get this running before we get this the way we want it before we start the crusher. Alright, diesel. We have our lights are working. We have our smoke and our particle effects, so that's working. Let's wait for these to spawn, and we'll see if they are actually sandstone. They are sandstone, and they are 20,000 liters. Did our trigger... What's our trigger look like? We can have the same problem? No. We have 20,000 liters of 5 different boulders. So let's grab our mining truck. This mining truck's probably not going to work because I think it's fill type specific. So I'm going to have to get Papa Smurf to edit it to hold sandstone. I honestly don't think it's going to work, but let's give it a shot. Let me turn auto load on. I don't think it's going to pick them up till we edit it. And I'll talk to Papa Smurf tonight. Yeah, it's not going to pick them up. So we're going to have to edit that mining truck to hold sandstone. But I want to get them off the spawners to make sure the spawner's clear. So let me grab super strength. And we'll just yank these off of... We'll get these off the spawner and make sure the spawner clears. And we'll get the mining truck fixed. And we'll crush these down into sand. Alright, now our trigger should go back to 0. Perfect, our triggers are back to 0, so let's spawn 5 more out and we'll make sure our trigger's clear one more time. They look pretty good. Our new sandstone boulder looks pretty good. These are spawning awfully quick, so I just got to make sure to mess anything up. But let's get them out of the trigger, and we'll make sure the trigger resets back to 0. And I'll just make sure to mess anything up in the XML. So you should now be cleared. Alright, so I'm going to call this one, we'll call sandstone good, and then we'll come in here and we'll start making this area, because that's going to be our last mine. silt we're going to do like we have been, and then there's one new fill type we'll work on tomorrow. So before we go back in, I want to check the log, make sure we have no errors with our sandstone. Alright, so there's no errors with the any of the factories we built today. So the map right now, except for one hut I have to fix, is pretty much error-free. So now what I want to do is I want to start cleaning this area up. We're going to make this road a little bit smaller, but I want to drop it down. See, we were at 200 at that level. I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to go like 190. So let's go to 190. I want to see something. And we are on replace. Yeah, we're on replace. Yeah, I want to take, nope. 190 is not going to work. Let's go back to 200. 200 is going to work. Alright, so let's take you back. I want to make this road coming in a little bit smaller, not that small. Bring this road in a little bit so it's not as wide. Alright, that'll work. And then we'll clean up this mess. So I'll clean that up. Gotta move it to 206 to clean that up. So let's go to 206 a minute. And then let's bring in our top layer. And now we cut it back. And just smooth it. Something like that. Alright, now let's spin around. Let's take this guy back to 200. So let's try and get this guy straight across as I can. We'll start refining our space and our textures. And then we'll see if we have to take the road even smaller or not. And I want to take this guy up a little bit more so he's pretty much straight across here. Something like that. Now let's get let's try and get this guy as straight as I can across here now. Actually no, I want to take, yeah I do, I want to leave this at hold on, let me go back to 206 a minute. Let's bring this guy in. There we go. Now we go back to 200. I want to layer this guy in. And then unfortunately here's where it gets really time consuming, so I want to try and get a nice straight line across here now. But I'm actually surprised. We actually got a lot more done today than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting to get all these mines in and running today. I'm not too concerned with the outside edge if it's a little crooked. I'm more concerned with, I want the inside edge as straight as I can get it. So we can always come back and clean up the outside edge. And got to keep an eye on the time. I got about half an hour and I'm going to have to get out of here for the night. But I am, like I said, really pleased with the progress today. And if all goes well and the house is quiet and the Wi-Fi behaves, I'm going to plan on streaming again most of the day tomorrow. We'll get this area landscaped and all the buildings and the props and everything done. We'll get the electrical system in. Then we'll work on probably the silt mine and the new mine, and then we'll go to the crusher. So I got to figure out where I want to put the crusher. Yeah, looks like I got some grass down in there to clean up yet. Alright, so that's that layer done. Do we have some? Yeah, let's get rid of that grass first. Let's go to subtract a minute. Yeah, I want this grass out of there. Alright, so now let's go back to replace. Alright, so that's that layer. I want to bring, actually I want to bring that layer straight over. So let's go here to here. Let's square this corner up. Alright, so that gets that layer done. So now I want to narrow this down because it's too wide. So let's go to 180. And then let's try and get I can always come back in and fix the bottom layer. Alright, so let's try and get a straight line in here now. And let's see how wide I want to go. I want to take this a little bit wider. So this will be our next level down. So yeah, let's bring you out to about here. Just going to make it look like we kept working our way down layer by layer. come back and fix this. It's going to drive me nuts. So let's try and get this straight. Something like that. And how we got the last little corner to fix. Sorry. Something like that. Let's get down to the end. Streamlabs. Oh, we have a new follow. Rossi Kill 132. Hi, your maps are amazing. Can't wait for your new one to come out. These warehouses take ages to fill. Yes, they do. So Rossi Kill, thank you for the follow. And J23313. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for taking your time out of your day, stopping in and saying hello. We are working on a mining pit. So we're going to come down here. We're going to get our copper boulders, our ore boulders, our rock, our nickel boulders, our copper boulders, and then a new sandstone boulder that we're going to crush down into sand. So I've been working on mining. I've been working on these mines all day. So I just want to continue trying to get the rest of the my terrain heights done, because we have a lot of all these buildings look the same, so we're going to change up some of these buildings tomorrow. We're going to slide some of the triggers around. We're going to make this look a little bit better tomorrow. I just wanted to get it functioning today. So tomorrow we'll come in here. We will finish up the mines. We still have a silt mine, silt pond to put in. And we have there's a new fill type, which I'm not going to reveal yet today. So there's a new fill type, so there's 2 ponds we have to put in tomorrow. One of them is going to be the silt pond, and the other one's going to be the new fill type pond. Or pit, I should say. We'll have a pond. We have to build a pond and a pit tomorrow. And then if we get that done, if we get that far, we're going to start building, we have to build a new crusher. And instead of being separate crushers like the other maps, so right now we have a coal crusher and an ore crusher and a copper crusher and a stone crusher. We're going to combine all of those into one factory. And we're going to do just one crusher. And the XML is going to be super complicated, so it's going to be a difficult build tomorrow. Oh, stop. Looks like Tory Woody Car. Stop posting links or I will come in and ban you. So I will jump in to my stream and I will ban you if I have to. And my Nightbot got you, but I'll get you even worse. I'll permanently ban you. Because the kind of day I've had, it's one of those days where it took me 10 tries to get one thing working, so don't push the luck today because I'm not in the mood. get this guy across. Almost there. And now we'll drive in it and see if I want to go even narrower, which I think I do. But we'll see what it looks like too far. I don't want to go all the way to the end. I want to try and keep it square. So right there for now. Right there for now. How are you on this side? Is there a big gap? There is. So now I gotta slowly take you over, fill in that gap. Alright, so that gets that layer in. I think I want to go even, yeah I do, I want to go even a little bit more narrow. Let me save this, let this save. And we're going to go even one more layer down, even a little bit more narrow. And then we'll get some texture in here. And we'll see how it feels in game. So I got about 20 minutes. I'm going to have to get out of here for the night. And my coffee cup is empty, so that's never a good thing. Alright, let's try and get one more layer in and narrow this up even a little bit more. So I want it to feel tight when we're down in here. So let's come over here. Let's go down to, where's my height? Let's go down to 165. And let's try and get one more layer in here. Down to the end. And again, I can come in here and make it even smaller if we have to. I do want to take out that hump, so let me come back to 165 in a second. I want to take this hump out. It's been driving me nuts. Alright, so let's go back to 165. So let's take you across. To the end. And what's even nicer about this map, I'm not building a lot in. So the mining will be built in. Stone processing will be built in. Actually, no, your crushers will be built in. Stone processing will be placeable. All of your other basics, so Mammoth Mill will all be placeable. All your cement plant, all that stuff will be placeable. The only thing I want to try and keep built into the map is the mining, the slaughterhouse, the poultry house, the seaweed pond. Where's my list? I'll tell you exactly what we're going to build in, and everything else is placeable. We are going to build in we're going to build in the slaughterhouse, the poultry house, the smokehouse, the seaweed pond, the boathouse, and fishing. Everything else is going to be place your own. So you'll be able to customize the map to your liking. And multiplayer, you'll be able to have your own mammoth mill and your own orchards and your own greenhouses and all that stuff. So this map you're going to be able to customize a lot. There'll be 3 trains running, so you can, it'll be probably like 9 or 10 silos built into the map along the railroad track, so railroad silos. And there'll be plenty of houses and plenty of spots for placeables. So you'll be able to really just make this map your own. This tedious stuff like I'm doing now is not my favorite thing to do. I was never good at coloring in the lines. Just like that. Trying to keep an eye on chat. And keeping an eye on chat and drawing a straight line ain't too fun. Oh, too far. Let's back that up. Get this to the end, we'll get some texture on here and we'll see how it feels. If I can't sleep tonight, before I stream tomorrow, I'll come in here and I'll finish this up as much as I can before I start streaming. I'll start streaming about around the same time, 8:30 or 9 a.m. Central Time. Almost to the end. Now let's get in here a little bit closer and try and fill this gap without messing up my other edge. Right to there, like so. That'll work. Now let's grab our cliff rock. And then let's get this painted in. And then we'll come back in and we'll clean up the edges. So our cliff rock is going to come across where our sand mine ends, somewhere about here. So let's take this across. got to look like a mine when we drive down into it. Now I got a different color I can use if I don't like um, this cliff rock. But the idea was to make this look like an old quarry, and I'm going to overwrite this cliff rock dark. I want this to be a little bit brighter, so we're going to use the cliff rock instead of the cliff rock dark. I don't want it really dark when we drive down in here. So let's change this up a little bit. And then we'll come back in and I'll do the floor. After I come in, and we'll drive it around and make sure the size is about right first. Then we'll finish the textures probably tomorrow. We'll come in and finalize up the textures. But this is just a rough idea of when we come down in here to the mine. Now I did want to, let me do a couple things here really quick. So let's go to back to grass a minute. And let's just take you back to green a minute. Let's take our, I want to get a, let me get my paintbrush down to the right size. I want it about the size of one lane on the road. So let's bring our, let's go back to rough dirt. And then let's come up here. Now you're going to have to go a little bit bigger, like that. Alright, so let's come up here. And we'll bring our road back. So let's split this in the middle. And we'll come back. Now you're going to be too narrow. Let's go a little bit more. Let's go like this. Now let's bring you straight back. And then we'll curve you in. Something like that. Let's get you just a hair wider. And then let's go to round. And let's curve this over. Something like that. Alright, let's do a save. Let's jump in the map and see what it looks like. And then I'm going to call it a night. So we'll come down here, we'll drive in and out of the mines, we'll see how the scale and the size feels. We'll finish up the textures tomorrow, get some greenery and stuff in here. Maybe do a fence around it. So let's jump in game. Start a new game, save. But I hope everyone is doing well. It's, what's today, Wednesday, end of hump day. Alright, let's grab, ignore the map because this is built on the island's base. Let's grab a truck. And so the vehicle shop, let me grab a little bit of speed. If you haven't seen the map progress so far. So I'm using Jim's Auto Sales as the vehicle shop. So all the vehicles will spawn here in a line straight back. So we have a working gas station so we can get fuel. You'll have a working repair trigger. And then this is also going to double as a sell point at some point. So somewhere back behind this other building. So right about here, somewhere like right in here, I'll put a sell trigger, and we'll be able to sell like tires and fuel and that kind of stuff. So this is Center Mountain. I have most of the electrical systems in. The traffic splines are in. The trains are in. None of the crossing signals are in yet. So this is going to be Center Mountain. Center Mountain, there's 4 big tall bridges, one east, north, south, and west that cross the valley that take you to Outer Mountain. So we'll head over to where the mining is. Actually, before I take you over to where the mining is, I'll take you over, I'll show you the animal dealer. So we'll come over here. I'm going to make a slight change down here to the animal dealer, so hopefully I'll have time tomorrow. So the animal dealer is here, it's functioning. What I want to do is I want to open up, right now we have to come in here to pick up our animals and then back out. I want to get rid of this curbstone and that fence. I want to be able to drive straight through and then around the back of the building. So I want to make that change tomorrow. But so your animal dealer's down on this level. And then there's another, this road will take it down to even down into the lower level, down into the valley. So that'll take it down into, all the way down into the valley. I want to go over one of the bridges, show you one of the bridges. So let's head back up here. And now I'm going to get a feel for how the mine is, and then I'm calling it a night. So I've been in this desk chair for like 12 or 13 hours so far. So there's 3 trains. There will be a big central station and central warehouse at some point. The hot air balloon is too low, that has to get moved. So that's still on the to-do list. But we have, like I said, there's going to be 4 of these tall bridges that take you across the valley. And again, nothing in the valley is done, so the views are not the greatest right now. But this will take you across the valley into Outer Mountain. And then Outer Mountain runs the perimeter of the map. And then we have the canal, which will be for the fishing boats. I'm going to change up the traffic. That's still on the to-do list. We're going to get different traffic driving around this map. Yeah, and all the train crossings have to come in. So this will take us down into the new mines. And again, I think this road might still be a little bit too wide. But we'll see when we get the mining truck up and down. So this will take us down. I'm going to leave this open spot here so you can put some placeables down. You can put some sheds down. You could put some silos down. I may actually take this spot right here, this big open spot right here where we're at now. I may not leave this. We'll see. This may turn into the silt pond. I like that. That may turn into the silt pond tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, I'm liking how this is feeling. I want to change up all these buildings so they don't look the same. And then once you pick up all your boulders, you'll have to take and drive them back out of the mine to the crusher. May narrow this down even a little bit more. We'll see how it feels once we get the big mining truck. Alright, so let's jump out of here a minute. Let me grab my store delivery mod. Let's grab the big boy and take him for a ride. Let's see how this thing feels driving through here and then up and down the ramp. Yeah, I'm not going to need to make it any narrower because we're going to put some greenery in, I think. Not sure yet, but we may throw some greenery in. We got to get some power down in here. So we got to bring on... Yeah, it's going to take us pretty much most of the day tomorrow to get this finished tomorrow with all the extra buildings and props and finish the textures, getting some greenery in, getting the silt pond in. I don't know if we'll get to the crusher tomorrow. I want to see how this feels driving up and down the ramp. Sassy One looking great so far. Thank you. Yeah, it feels nice driving down through here. The size and scale feels right. Unfortunately, you won't feel that until you come in game. And no, I think I'm going to leave this space open. I'm going to put the silt mine somewhere else. I don't want to crowd it in here just to make it fit. I'm going to leave this road just as it is. I'm not going to make it any more narrow either. This, yeah. Alright, this road's going to have to go a little bit bigger. So I'm going to have to go a little bit wider on this road. Yeah, we're going to have to go a little bit wider on this road. Then, well, not really, because this thing takes up the entire road. And I don't know where I'm going to put the crusher yet. So I don't know how far we're going to have to drive the boulders to the crusher. I'll make that decision some point tonight. So just a little bit of work on the road on top. I want to build some kind of fencing or something around the mine. Yeah, we'll have a lot of props and stuff to work on tomorrow. We'll do all the details tomorrow. Alright, yeah, that feels right. Alright, let me, I'm going to throw y'all on ending soon. I'm going to save this and close this and do all that happy jazz. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their day, stopping in and saying hello. Hope everybody has a good night. Thank you for the new follows. You guys and gals are awesome. I'm also going to save and close the map while I'm on ending soon. See if y'all have any other. Barry 1949, your map looks good. Old Man 102, well thank you, sir. Once again, I appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hello. I'm going to get out of here. I got to help her with dinner. And I'm hoping to catch y'all tomorrow.